LETRS is an approach to teaching literacy to young learners that has focused on the research that we have learned in the last maybe 15 or 20 years about how students best learn to read with brain development and an approach that's scientific to help students become more proficient and independent.
It's teaching them the differences between sounds and how they connect to letters on a page, and then how they connect to reading altogether. It's really fascinating what we've learned through the district this year. I've been amazed at just all the techniques that come with the training that we've gotten, and trying out new things and seeing that it works has really been exciting.
You were combining multiple ideas about the reading rope. And
my passion around this work in particular, I think, stemmed from when I was a child and I grew up in whole language, which is incidental learning of phonics, and I think that that was a challenge for me growing up, but I loved reading. And even now that my focus is in elementary, I think that this passion was reinvigorated as teachers were working to adopt our program and to move into this training. So it's really become a passion area for me that I have spent the last 8 years developing. So the first 4 units of LETRS are really all about the foundational skills. So phonemic awareness, phonological awareness, assessing for those particular things, all of those sort of discrete skills associated with the development of a reader. So what we're trying to do is help support teachers in identifying really early whatever deficits there are for a student so that they can help intervene appropriately. And that way our students don't have those gaps growing and growing over time. Today we had our 5th grade cohort with us, and so 5th grade's content is what we call units 5 through 8, which is really about reading comprehension, vocabulary, fluency, and writing. And that was the intent of today's target.
I am using the strategies that we've learned through LETRS in a lot of different ways in the classroom, starting with sounds in the beginning of even kindergarten, listening to the sounds and hearing them in words, not just connecting them to a letter. As well as in our literacy centers, we have tons of fun activities that the district has provided us. One of them, for example, is tap it, map it, zap it, and the kids love it. They tap the sounds that they hear, even though it's not connected to a letter, and then they zap it away with a magnet. They really love that, and it sets them on fire for learning to read, so it's one of my favorites.
What's the setting? What does setting mean again? Who knows?
Place.
This program helps us identify student weaknesses and areas that are of challenge because it provides a systematic approach to identify what kids already know and then to provide the scaffolding support to meet them where they are and help them grow on that road to becoming a conventional reader.
With some of the things that we're trying to engage our staff with, our staff has done a really nice job of helping support students in the progress. So if I think about kindergarten, we don't typically evaluate students for dyslexia formally through a psychologist, but our teachers are starting to become very adept at flagging students for those things. Last year we had a student who was flagging for those things. The teacher was meeting with me and other people trying to support the student in growth, and he was not making progress. So we actually forced the issue and had the evaluation happen so that he could receive additional supports on top of that. So I think that was a big success. The other part of it, I think, is parents want to know what can we do and where can we find out more. So we have a whole website built, and the idea is around dyslexia, but certainly any student who's experiencing reading challenges, or even those who aren't, could still access that site to learn more about what we're doing, learn about resources to help support your child, and what to do when you're reading at home with your child.
Now that I've learned so much, I feel like I'm better able to even serve all students. I believe students really understand what they're learning, and they aren't just going through the motions of learning how to read. And I think it's so amazing to watch them make connections on like a daily basis. I love it.
I'm invested in this because in the 26 years I've been teaching, this is one of the first times that I've really had a better understanding of the science behind how children learn to read. It's exciting to see the growth that these kids are making as opposed to 10 or 15 years ago before I had the knowledge and real experience with how the brain works and how children actually learn to read. To see their independence, to see them feel empowered and confident is really heartwarming and just reaffirms that this is an approach that is really effective for the majority of our students.
All right, here we go. Help me.
You did a good job.
Perfect.